we haven't heard any updates on your client, Adrian Newey. You're his manager. He has been revered. I'm one that bow down to his brilliance, his technical ability, having driven with them or driven in cars that he's been involved in through Williams, McLaren, and of course Red Bull. He's sort of gone off on a holiday right now. So
that's exactly what he has done, and that's what he should do.
And so let me ask the question: who have you been in the meantime talking to, and when are we getting an announcement on his future?
Well, first of all, mind your own business.
This is for the listeners. Never mind me.
Listeners
I
will
care.
appreciate that there are certain times that you learn to zip up and shut the fuck up.
When did you learn that?
A long time ago. Anything to do with relationships, anything to do with privy and proper things of your client. I've made it very clear, and Adrian's made it clear. He will make that decision. And anyone who is on Instagram will see him and Amanda and the dogs in an open car in the south coast of UK, driving around all weekend. Did he watch the Grand Prix? I probably would have had it. May have watched you on Channel 4, DC, but I doubt if he was there for the actual Grand Prix itself. So he's relaxing. He has a job to do. He is completing the design on the RB17 for those anchors out there. It's the road car version, which is unbelievable car.
Yours for $6 million?
And
yours for $6 million?
Well, I thought it was 5. When did you put it up just to take your cut, or what?
I just assumed you put the number up, so I didn't want.
I would do if I could, but anyway. Anyway, 5 or 6. What's $1 million between friends? But anyway, the reality is that it'll be a sensational car. And Harry, his son, is involved in the selling of that and works for Red Bull on that area. So I applaud Adrian because he is actually saying nothing. And any conversation that I may have with Adrian is private. And so, DC, don't even ask, because I'm not going to tell you, and mind your own goddamn business.
I think I'll just give Adrian a call after the podcast. He'll tell me. Right, moving along to other greats of the sport. Controversial as well, Flavio Briatore.
Yeah.
Unquestionably someone that moved the dial when he arrived at Benetton many years ago. Famously had made calls very early in his career that we need less money spent on all this technology and more on the entertainment, because he understood, he was a marketing man, the power of that. He's been called back as an executive advisor to the Alpine team, which formerly was Renault, and then before that was Benetton. He's got presence. When he walks in the paddock, he's a friend of ours. We see him around. I get it. I get why having somebody who's a people reader, that's what I think he is. He's not a technical man. You're not a technical guy. You've understood driving and you've understood how to do the numbers and run a business. But none of us, I think, would claim to understand how to put together a differential or a gearbox. And he definitely wouldn't. But if you look at his other businesses, he understands what he sees in people's eyes and what he feels where they should be within an organization. So that's an asset to Alpine.
First of all, I think 1990, 1991, when Jordan started, the person I fought with most in my early years was Flavio. But the person I loved most was Flavio. The person I enjoyed going out to dinner with most was Flavio. So there was a love-hate relationship, which is often the great signs of great love affairs.
He claims to barely know you.
That may be the case. I absolutely adore him. He has a presence in abundance. Like it's like confetti or magic dust. You just see suddenly the cameras that were on a racing driver, for example, and they're all rushing around to the other side because Briatore has made an entrance. And I'll tell you a little story. It was a very funny thing. Maybe years and years ago, when you went to Sardinia, of course, Porto-Cervo, where the Billionaire Club first started, which was Flavio's club. And at 12 o'clock midnight, you'd have this fanfare, big big long red carpet, and this guy chaired in by 4 muscly men, and he's sitting up on a throne with a crown on his head. I mean, it was the most bizarre thing you could ever imagine.
The music was Flavio.
No, but it was the music, it was Flavio, and then the flares that were going up and thing. And myself, I was there with Fisichella, so it was at the time of must have been 97 or whenever it was. And Maria and I and Fisichella, we were sitting on a boat, and we'd been invited by Flavio. And that is the epitome of this guy. He loves personal adoration. You know, he went out with Naomi Campbell. He went out with this girl and that girl. He had...
Actually, just on that, sorry to jump across you, Eddie, with your train of thought. Because he had the ability to have his ex-wife and 4 of his girlfriends, former girlfriends, including Heidi Klum, Naomi Campbell, and others, on his boat during this year's Monaco Grand Prix. If that is not a sign of a master negotiator and people person, I don't know what is.
Well, the only thing I can suggest do you know why that could happen? Because he's a gentleman. Let us not forget that.
Yes.
Let's not your memory run away with yourself.
Okay. Well, let's leave it on that particular. He's a gentleman. We're all gentlemen. Right. Just a quickie on a few contract extensions. Pierre Gasly at Alpine and Lance Stroll. I guess least surprising is the Lance Stroll news at Aston. Gasly seems to me like that's the right place for him, given the options he's got. It's still a works team, talented driver. We wait to see what happens with Ocon.
I'm sad, DC. I'm still trying to get to the bottom. Maybe you might be able to help us. But Esteban Ocon has, in his lifetime, not done anything, in my opinion, anything wrong or bad. But suddenly he's come away with a bit of a reputation, things he said inside Alpine, which was pathetic at the beginning of the year, both from an aero point of view and from overweight point of view. I mean, scandalous to bring a car to the racetrack with that amount of kilos and stuff like that was shocking. And no one should have allowed that to happen. But I remember him growing up in Force India, and I absolutely adored him. And I think there's very little between those two. And he's another Carlos Sainz, isn't he? He's suffered by being asked to resign, and he's leaving at the end of this current season. So where's he going to go? I don't know. Is he going to go to Williams? I don't know. It's a real problem about drivers in the current situation. We're talking about Ocon, we're talking about Carlos Sainz, but we're also talking about new drivers. And we're talking about, I look carefully at the Formula 2 race, for example, this weekend. And yes, there's some very big talents there. But with such other talents with Formula 1 experience, are you going to overlook the current crop of drivers like Sainz and Ocon in preference for a young rookie in Formula 2? Not for me. I wouldn't do it.
No, I think that you'd go for a safe pair of hands rather than the hope of cream tomorrow. Right, EJ, I know we could keep going, but we're going to be spending a lot of time together this week. So frankly, I need to pace myself. So we're going to wrap it up at this point. Listeners, as always, you can give us your thoughts by emailing ffs@whisper.tv, and you can follow us at F1 for Success, and by joining us in the FFS Club.
Ooh, well EJ, done, David. You got
I got it out.